This is the breakdown for Justin Burlinson versus Yohan Lainesse on Dana White's Contender Series week number 10. We have two undefeated welterweights going at it. This matchup has been booked for like 9 weeks. It's been, obviously all these Contender Series matchups are booked in advance, but they don't like let them know. But this has been announced since like week 1 or 2, and I've been waiting for it so much, man. I'm a big fan of Justin Burlinson, and I actually know of Yohan Lainesse before I looked into this matchup. Right, Yohan Lainesse is the 170 champion CFFC, the same promotion that Mike Malott was out of, Solomon Renfro. He's good, man. I like Yohan Lainesse's kickboxing. I think the one problem I have with him is that he overextends when it strikes because he knows he has power, so he leaps his hooks, leaves himself a little bit open for counters. And what I've seen in Lainesse's fights is that he always goes for the KO, and he typically gets it. He typically gets his opponents out of there. But he swings for the fences trying to go for it. Most of his opponents are decently high level. Like, he has some solid competition in CFFC. He recently beat Evan Cuts. He has some good wins. So the fighters that he's facing are experienced enough to know to slip. And most of the time, Lainesse gasses coming into that second round, and they put a pace on him. But then usually he just eventually ends up knocking him out because he has crazy power. He has solid uppercuts. His grappling, I would say it's solid, but I haven't seen it tested to the point where an opponent went into fighting Lainesse and had that game plan to implement the grappling, right? It's when they stand with Lainesse, they're like, oh my god, the power's too much. They're getting overwhelmed. Lainesse has great leg kicks. He's chopping at their legs. They're not liking. They're up against the cage. Lainesse is, letting his hands go. I don't know how his grappling is gonna par with someone like Burlinson. With these 24-year-old fighters who have extensive amateur careers, you can't call them grapplers. You can't call them kickboxers because they're good everywhere. It's just, where do you see them fighting? Like, what do you see? Burlinson can take this to the ground and he can submit most people. Like, he has a submission in Bellator in the first round. He has a 9-second KO in Bellator in the first round. So it's like, is this guy a grappler? He's well-rounded everywhere. The problem that I have with Lainesse in this matchup is Burlinson puts this pace on you where you fight his fight, but he counters you, picks you apart, lands good knees, good body shots, and then he also has solid takedown defense. The thing is, like, in some of his fights, you see him taken down, and that's because it's unexpected. But when he's on his back, he's always getting the butterfly guard up. He's controlling the wrist, going for submissions, going for triangles. Like, this guy off his back, either he's controlling you so you're not doing any damage or putting any submission attempts, or he's literally attempting to get up and getting in the best positions possible. So, although Lainesse does have a solid ground game, I don't see him being effective with it against Burlinson. I think there's going to be on the feet. There's going to be a hard matchup for either one because Lainesse gasses in those rounds because he has that power. He headhunts. He's sure he can go to the body, but he doesn't do it until late. Like, I wish in some moments where he's literally just hitting guard, like hitting the guard of fighters, I wish he'd go to the body more. Lainesse has that power, but I do see him gassing here. He's gritty, but I think the solid chin of Burlinson is going to be able to weather that early storm that Lainesse is going to have with the power. And I think in that second and third round, you're going to see a different Lainesse. You're going to see Burlinson countering the punches, going to the body of Lainesse, maybe mixing in the grappling, giving Lainesse different looks. And if eventually Burlinson is going to get a KO or maybe even sub, right? Lainesse has been subbed, although it wasn't his amateur career. Burlinson, right, when you're tired, that black belt doesn't mean anything, right? You saw Adolfo Vieira got subbed by Fluffy Hernandez. Like, that credential BJJ doesn't mean shit when you're tired and you're beat up. So Burlinson can sneak in a sub after Lainesse is, tiring out. But there is a world where Lainesse knocks out Burlinson. But Burlinson has a great chin. I don't see that happening at all. He's eating spinning elbows, like, flush to the chin. So yeah, I think Burlinson in that first round might be get hit by some shots, big shots, looping hooks from Lainesse, but I think eventually he's going to weather that storm, come in that second, third round, counter Lainesse overextending, looping shots. He's tired. He leaves his hands down. Burlinson just landing jabs, going to the body, landing the knees in the clinch, maybe even taking it down, ground and pounding. Burlinson has some nasty ground and pound. So yeah, I think Burlinson's going to get this done in the late second or third round by KO or submission. I'm going to lean towards KO. And yeah, that'll be all, boys.